Hey, how's it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Eric from the Blank Spot, and coming to you live from my office. And we're located right here in Columbia, South Carolina. If you're not familiar with us, if you've never visited us, we're at 9332 Notch Road, Suite C, Columbia, South Carolina. So we are a sublimation blank store, and we sell all things sublimation. So when you get on here, what I like you to do, if you haven't done so already, like it, share it, and tag someone. And if you happen to see some information that makes sense to you, or if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Also, I want you to, if you're on our YouTube channel right now, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can find us at the Blanks Spot. Okay. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to share this with a couple of groups, because the reason why I'm on here right now is because a couple of days ago, and I'm hot, man. I just came inside, was running to the mailbox to drop another package in the mail before 2:15 when they pick up. But okay, I digress. Um, the reason why I'm on here is because um, I posted a post about myself and my wife just the other day in one of the sublimation groups, and I actually posted it on in this group as well. Hey Sharon, how you doing? Thanks for jumping on. Um, Posted in this group as well, and the post was basically talking about how um, I retired from corporate America. My wife retired also. I've been retired for 6 years from the military, and my wife has been retired since last October. And right now, we're working on building a business, seven figure plus business. Now, got some nice responses, a lot of congratulations. And then I had a couple of people ask us, well, you know what? How did you guys do it? How are you able to do this? How are you able to build this business? Well, just to give you a little bit of background about me, like I said, military, 22 years of active service. I deployed several times, and I don't have a lot to say about that. It's a lot of sacrifice that goes into serving our country. However, it was a choice that I made. So that's that. My wife, on the other hand, being a military wife, and my children being recipients of the military, they got it a little differently. Yeah, I sacrificed. However, they sacrificed, I believe, a little bit more because um, a lot of weight fell on them. So my wife's background, she does have a master's in business. She worked in corporate America in retail, and she also worked in corporate America as a financial subject matter expert, um, working for the DOD. And not gonna go into much of that, but bottom line is, when I retired from the military 6 years ago, started a business. I was introduced to My wife and I was introduced to a network marketing company, and in that network marketing company, we learned about our money. Now, the first thing that you have to understand, and I want you to take away from this, is that we don't know everything. The majority of people who are out there working a job, looking to make ends meet, working at 9 to 5, that 7 to 3, that 8 to 4, whatever it is, they're looking to make ends meet. So oftentimes what happens is we're not really thinking about to the best way to actually um, control, improve, and enhance our finances. And like many people, my wife and I, we live check to check. We live paycheck to paycheck. And we did that not even knowing it. And when we were introduced to this financial information that showed us how to minimize our expenses, it showed us how to not just budget, but manage our finances. Talked about credit information, education. It talked about eliminating our debt. Man, that's one of the biggest things I think that we got out of that business, or we're getting from that company on the information, is eliminating our debt and taking back control of our information and our finances. And then also it talked to us about building a business and investing in ourselves for our future. Well, we took that information some 5, almost 6 years ago, and we took that information and we utilized it to our advantage. We took it, we we built our own businesses. Our first business that we actually created was back in I want to say 2017. That was our first LLC besides the network marketing company. From there, my wife created her crafting business. She created that crafting business. I'm gonna hit her out, shout out. She doesn't have a lot of clients right now. She's got her faithful clients because we're working on this. But Wealthware and Designs by D. So that makes 3 businesses: network marketing. We had a financial education business that we took and used our own information and our company's information. Then we have a crafting business, and then from there we rebranded ourselves as the National Business Builders. And this is where this information that I'm going to share with you is coming from. National Business Builders, where we teach business and personal finances. We educate people on business and personal finances. We educate people on properly building your business, and then also properly funding your business through means of business credit, staying away from traditional financial institutions, but understanding that there's other ways to actually create money, create capital, create cash flow for your business. So we've been doing that for about 2 years now, the National Business Builders. And then that's 4. And then the last business, this very last business that we actually created, my wife got this fantastic idea, since she's a crafter, to create a Sublimation Blanks store. Sublimation Blank store. And that's where the Blank Spot was born. And with all the information that we had, with the education that my wife has, with the leadership training and skills that I have, because I don't have a college degree, we were able to successfully create those businesses. And all of those businesses are creating income, or bringing income to our household. So we don't work a job. We don't have any job, any W-2 income coming into the house. Everything that we're doing is totally business ownership. Now, the topic of this, it says, before you start a sublimation business, or pretty much any business for that matter, there's some things that you need to consider. There's some recommendations that I want to make. And I wish I could say, hey, this is what you should do. But everybody's going to have their own idea about how they conduct business and how they actually see business. First of all, you got to think about it like this. As an employee, as a consumer, we're basically taught and groomed to buy, save to buy. Well, as a business owner, you got to have a different mindset. And I think that's the first thing that anybody who's new to business or is considering going into business for themselves, the first thing I think you need to consider is it's a mindset shift. The way you look at money, the way you begin to understand finances, and the way you understand investing back into yourself is going to be a totally different look than what we've been taught, what we've been led to believe, even from our parents' perspective. We're living in a different time, and we have to start thinking about how we can actually build something for our family. And that's what we thought about. We thought about how can we build something that's going to last, something generational for our family. So you got to ask yourself too, what is your why? What is your why? Why do you want to start a business? Most people say they want to start a business because they're tired of their job. They're tired of listening to their boss. Well, I'm here to tell you right now, if you are tired of listening to your boss, if you're tired of not being appreciated, not getting paid what you think you're worth, then starting a business is definitely going to be beneficial to you. I will give you this one nugget. If you guys taking notes, you'll remember this, but if you're taking notes, I'll give you one nugget right off the bat. Don't quit your day job. Don't quit your 9 to 5 because you got a wild hair and said, hey, I'm going to start a business and I'm going to make 6 figures or 7 figures because you bought into what someone said that you can do. I strongly encourage and recommend, and I can't be any clearer. Use your job to fund your business. And that's some of the things that we teach. So we had a couple of people talking about, hey, how did you guys get it started? How did you do it? What recommendations, what suggestions do you have? I'm going to give you some nuggets, and then I'm going to share with you how you can actually follow us in one of our other businesses so you can get more information and more insight. If you're serious, this is only for people who are serious about their business. Now, if you're working for yourself, if you're self-employed and that's where you want to be, I'm not judging. If you got a side hustle and that's what you're calling it, a side hustle, because you're putting your job above all things, hey, I'm not going to judge you. I just want you to understand that that job is not yours. It never has been, and it never will be. It's not secure. There's no such thing as a secure job. Security, that's an oxymoron. Doesn't work. And if you were in the pandemic or got affected by the pandemic, you know that people were losing jobs left and right, getting laid off, furloughed, all that kind of stuff. So a job is not promised. It's not security. Now, if you are a business owner, if you're looking to grow a business, I want you to understand something. In order to, hey, Courtney, thanks for jumping on. She says, I'm a server a few days a week and I invest. Okay, cool beans. So if in order to understand where you want your business to go, you got to have an idea. So a business is built 3 times. If you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. You probably heard it before. I'm not the first person to say this, so I'm not gonna, be bragging about, hey, I'm the first person to ever do X, Y, and Z. A business is built 3 times. The first time a business is built is here. Okay, it's built in our minds. It comes with an idea. Okay, if you are a believer, if you are a saved person, if you believe in God or your higher power, whatever you want to call out, believe in God, you have to have a connection. You have to have a relationship. You have to be plugged into the source. God is going to give us ideas. And he's never going to give us an idea halfway. So that means that we're going to be able to see it through with his help and his guidance. He's going to bring people to us and he's going to allow us to be successful. But that business is built first in our mind. That's the first time it's built. The second time that business is built is on paper. Okay. You have to write it down and you got to make it plain. And if it sounds like I'm quoting from the Bible, yeah, everything that we do is faith-based. Everything that we do is structured through faith. God has already given us his promises. And if this is not your type of conversation, you may want to get off right now because I'm going to be making references all day long. Okay. But God is not a person that he will lie, nor the son of man that he should repent. So you got to understand, if you are looking to build a business, he's going to give you the desires of your heart. Building a business means this. It means this, that before you can sit back and kick back and relax, because this is what most people think a business is. Most people think that a business just is this and collecting, right? That's what most people think a business is. But that's not really what a business is. If you saw when I first got on, I was sweating. I walked to the mailbox to drop a package off so it can get shipped today, because we said that, hey, if you purchase by a certain time, then it's going to be shipped today. And I want to stay true to that. So basically what I'm saying is that in the beginning, you may have to work in your business. That's business building. Eventually, you want to be in a position that you can work on your business. Courtney said that a job is just over broke, just out of bed, and you're right. You gotta keep pushing yourself unless you are happy where you are. Now, let's talk about some dreams, right? Some goals, some visions, because a lot of people in this world, and I'm going to speak to the audience at hand, because we deal with a lot of self-employed business owners that are just looking for opportunities to grow and expand their business. I want you to understand something. If you've never been outside of your area, if you've never been outside of your hometown, if you've never visited another city, another state, then your vision is going to be this big, because your expectations may very well be, unless you're reading and involving yourself in a different type of atmosphere, your vision is only going to be extended to what you actually know and see. So you got to surround yourself around different things and different opportunities. Now, that being said, how do we get started? The first thing we learned was about our personal finances. Why is that important? Well, you're not going to just get to the money. You're not going to just get to the money. See, if you can't control your personal finances, when you build a business, when you start being successful and all that money starts coming in, if you can't control and manage your own personal finances, what do you think is going to happen when you become a business owner? You're not going to be able to successfully manage those business finances. Most Most people who start businesses, they live out of their cash register. They live out of their till. So you got to be mindful of that. So you got to understand that we started with understanding our personal finances. We understood that there's three things that we need to do to increase keeping our money. And I'm going to be as plain and as clear as I can. People talk about cash flow. Cash flow goes both ways. Cash flows out, cash flows in. Well, in order to keep more of your money, there's three things that must happen. You have to minimize your expenses. So we learned how to do that. Okay. We learned how to do that in our network marketing company, our financial education company. You have to learn how to minimize your expenses. That's going to increase your cash flow. You have to listen. You have to understand the importance of lowering your taxes. Taxes are our biggest expense. This is not about tax avoidance. It's not about tax evasion. This is about understanding how big business does it, how the 1% does it. They learn how to legally lower their taxes to the legal lowest limit. And as a homeowner, as a person who has been in business our whole lives, if you own a home, if you have a household, if you are taking care of yourself, you're already in business. You just don't know it. So we learned how to minimize our expenses. We learned how to lower our taxes. And then we learned how to lower our debt and manage our debt to the point of now we are eliminating debt. Okay. So those three things, expenses, taxes, and debt, has to go down in order for your cash flow to go up. And from that, listen, guys, if you're listening, from that was the beginning of building our first limited liability company, because we took that available cash that was ours anyway. We minimized our taxes while my wife was on her job. She minimized her taxes, and we took that additional money and we shifted it towards building and growing a business. Now, I'm going to lose some people right here because they're going to say, well, what about the IRS? That's illegal. Don't listen to what people tell you. Trust and verify what you can verify. The IRS has specific tax codes that talk about tax regulations that talk about a business owner and a person who has a job can legally lower their taxes. Okay, legally, morally, and ethically lower your taxes. So that's the first thing you're going to need. You're going to need money to start a business. The thing I want to impress and stress is that nobody out in corporate America that is a multi-millionaire or multi-billionaire is overpaying taxes more than they should. We've been taught that taxes is a rite of passage. It's American. Taxes ain't American. So stop listening to people. Okay. Taxes are not American. Imagine being able to legally lower your taxes to only what you owe. I'm not saying don't pay, to only what you owe. And now you have all that additional cash flow to do with what you want. And for the most part, you can take that money and you can either eliminate that debt, you can either start that business, whatever you want to do. So we took that money and we began to do a couple of things. We started to eliminate debt, but we also started businesses. And we started businesses based off supply and demand. What did people need? Well, we know people are always going to need information about finances, whether they want to admit it or not. We don't know everything. We went from there. My wife saw a need. She saw a need and she created a skill set in crafting, because everybody's going to need a skill set. I don't care how good your job is. I don't care how much you're earning on a job. That job can end today. So you need a skill. And she created and learned and self-taught. She taught herself how to actually be a crafter. And I'm not going to go into all the details, but Wealthware and Designs by D, that's her crafting business, and she still has that. It's still active, and she still has customers. So that's a stream of income that comes into our household. But the other thing is, what you got to understand is, most people will tell you, and this is some very, very bad advice, they will tell you to take your savings. They will tell you to take your savings, or they will tell you to take your 401k and start a business. And I want to say this slowly so you can understand. If you take your savings to start a business and your business fails and you have no savings, where are you at? Well, you may say, well, Eric, I'm just taking a leap of faith. No, that's not the wisest move. So how can I start a business? Well, I'm going to take my 401k and start it. And what happens when it's time to retire? Even though a 401k is not enough money for us to retire on after, 20, 30, or 40 years of working a job, why would you take money that's in an investment, take it out to start a business? One, you're going to get penalized with taxes. That's number one. Number two, what do you have to fall back on in your old age? So you got to think about, there's got to be more ways to start a business. I hear people saying, well, you know what? I'm going to get a grant. Well, there are no grants for startups. There are grants for new businesses. There are grants for business owners, but you're not going to find a grant for a startup. Okay. What can you do? Well, you got to get funding. So I recommend, and this is what we did. We already had a network marketing business that taught us some great, gave us some great nuggets on how to handle our money. So then what we began to do is we were introduced by a gentleman. We were introduced to business credit by a gentleman back in 2017, younger guy, younger than us. And he knew a lot about business credit, had never heard about business credit. But from that conversation that we had, he introduced business credit to us. We looked at it, we took off, and my wife began to build business credit in our first business name, in our first LLC's name. And it took us about 70, maybe 80 days to build business credit. And from that, we began to increase our cash flow. We had money now to buy her t-shirts. We had money now to provide a venue if we needed a venue or any other supplies we needed. So I think what people really want to know is, in this particular business, what about the vendors? How do I get the vendors? How do I get to this information? Who are your vendors? Well, that's not going to do you any good if you don't have any money to shop. Got to be honest. I got to keep it 100. If you don't have any money, it don't matter what your vendors list looks like. It doesn't. I've been in these groups up and down since my wife has been in crafting and since we started the Blank Spot. And I've been looking, and there's a lot of manipulative personalities out there that are taking advantage of desperate people and desperate personalities, because people are so desperate to be successful that they are listening to almost anything. They're listening to what people are telling them because that's what they want to hear. It doesn't matter how many vendors you have. It doesn't matter how big or how many customers you have. It doesn't matter. If you don't have the money to keep replenishing your products and keep your store going or your business going, then your business is going to fail. You need customers, you need products and or services, and you need cash. Simple as that. So for anybody who's out there who's wondering how are we doing this, we didn't just start doing this today. There's a saying that goes, it says that if you want to be somewhere today, you should have started 5 years ago. Well, it's 2021 right now, and we started 5 years ago. So it doesn't just happen. So if you guys are out there working your business and you're building your business and you're grinding real hard, and you got to understand that it's going to take some time to build a business. It's going to take some time to build a business. You got to ask yourself, where do you see yourself? How strong, how big do you want your business? How much do you want to scale your business? My wife and I decided to open up a store because we saw a need here in Columbia, South Carolina. Yeah, there were people here and there doing this and that, but I don't see, looking back on it, because we've only been open. This is our 4th month open in the Blank Spot. I don't see anybody who was only selling sublimation blanks and was actually working their business full time. There's people out there that's probably doing something on the side. They got a job and they're doing a business or a side hustle. But we saw a need for someone to be able to come and put their hands on some products at least 6 days a week. You need to be able to trust people. And when we're building a community of trust, we're building a community of customers and people who understand what we're striving to do. So one of the things is that you got to be all in. You got to be all in. And even if you're working working a job full time, your business mindset has to be all in, because what are you going to do when your job breaks up with you, when you get tired of working, or when you just can't work anymore because you're not physically able to go on? Because those are one of the 3 things that are going to happen in our life. We're either going to get tired of working, we're going to not be able to physically go on, or our job is going to break up with us. Before that happens, we got to have a plan. We decided to create this store. We already had the building because we were using this building for events. And we decided to create a store because there was a need and people just started coming in. We did our advertisement, we did our marketing. I have a background in IT communications through the military, so I understood the marketing aspect, I understood the communications part, and we used our talents and skills that we already had to do what we're doing. And we asked God to bless our business, just like you ask God to bless you and anything else. We asked God to bless our business, and people started to come. See, there's two phrases that I want you to understand. One of them is wealth transference. Okay, wealth transference. Wealth transference is simply this. Imagine you having a mom and pop's restaurant, and you sit that restaurant in between a real expensive steak restaurant and between a very popular fast food restaurant, and you sit your restaurant right in the middle. Wealth transference is basically this: a shift from their stores to yours coming in. That's the transference. Now, after those customers and those clients shift from their store to yours, then it's your responsibility to do everything you can to keep those customers and grow and build more customers. So that's wealth transference, okay? Not physically just giving you the money and putting in your hand from one person to another, but showing you a physical attribute that, hey, listen, if I'm faithful to what I'm asking God to do for me, then he's going to bring me, I got to trust that he's going to bring me the clients. He's going to bring me the customers. He's going to provide me with the means, the know-how, and the financing if I do my part. Then the other one is generational wealth. Generational wealth. The Bible says that a good man leaves an inheritance for the children's children. How can you clearly think about this? How can we create generational wealth on a job unless we build something? Whether it's a business or investments, we have to build something. And that money on that job is for us to take care of our house, clothes on our back, food in our stomach, things like that. And if we want to build something more and we live below our means, we got to take that money and we have to multiply it. So wealth transference and generational wealth are the things I want to put on your mind. But how do we do this and how are we doing it? My wife has been crafting for almost 5 years. Actually, she started crafting in 2016, just messing around. But she has vendors. My wife, she did her own research. She didn't go to someone and pay $2,500 or $1,000 to sit in a class and purchase a vendor list. She didn't do that. And I want you guys to understand something. With any business, it's going to be a risk that's going to be taken. So you want to weigh your risks. The biggest risk that somebody can take, okay? And I want y'all to understand this. The biggest risk that somebody can take is to put all their eggs in one basket, all their peas in one pot, and work a job 20, 30, 40 years and not have a plan after that. You've not built anything. You've worked 40 years for a passive income, which is a retirement. But the whole time you were building a business and not even really understanding it. You were building a business for somebody else, building a business for Amazon, building a business for Walmart. And I'm not just talking about working in those stores. I'm talking about corporate as well. Building a business for Best Buy, building a business for the hospital, building a business for the military, building a business for somebody else other than your household. So your last name could actually benefit from it. And that's the mindset shift. So my wife has access to all these vendors and she did her research. And I didn't hear her complaining at all about any of the vendors because she understands that every time she would buy or purchase from a new vendor, that it was an investment and that she had to see if that was going to be a good vendor. See, I can give you she can give you every vendor that she has. But that doesn't mean that you're still not going to take a chance. Just because that vendor's been good to us and there's not been any mishaps or any mistakes, that doesn't mean that you're not going to catch anything. You may catch a bad t-shirt. You may catch a bad tumbler. You may catch a bad widget, whatever it is that we're ordering. It may not come in a timely manner, especially now with COVID ramping back up. The pandemic is really stopping things at the port. At least that's what I hear. But you got to think about it. We can give you everything that you need, but you're not us. And I don't say this boasting, but everybody's different. Your drive is not my drive. Your get up and go and your hustle is not my get up and go and hustle. So you can never compare yourself to anyone else. Only compare yourself to you and do your best to be a better version of the person than you were the day before. You need money. You got to have cash flow. You can have all these vendors. I see people in these groups talking about, hey, how much does this cost? Give me a price. I'm not paying any more than this, any more than that. But you got to understand how business works. People are in business to make a profit. This is not a game. For us, this is how we earn our living. This is how we make our money. We don't have a job. This is our job. And as we build our business and we expand and we create openings and jobs for other people, we can then kind of, I don't want to say take a step back, but we're going to get to a different level in our business. So right now for this particular business, we're working inside our business, and pretty soon we'll be working on our business to continue to grow it. The company our parent company, National Business Builders, has been teaching people how to build businesses and build business credit for the last 2 years and some change. With our experience that we have in business and understanding business, you have to understand there's a lot of he say, she say. There's a lot of people that's going to give you advice and recommend that you do it this way, recommend that you do it that way, but you have to do some things and properly set your business up so you can actually qualify for certain things. We also have an Amazon store. Okay, I almost failed to mention that. We have an Amazon store. So we sell some of our products on Amazon. As a matter of fact, wife opened up the Amazon store about a week ago. And as soon as she put products on there, we started selling. Because we put the right product on there. Bottom line is that's another stream of income. Bottom line is this, though. Before you can do certain things, your business has to be structured properly. It's not just about getting an LLC and LLP. It's about understanding that, or an EIN. It's about understanding that, hey, if you're shopping with somebody, you're going to want to see their products. So you're going to need a website. If you're shopping with someone and you have to email somebody, you don't want to use a Gmail email. You don't want to use a Hotmail or Yahoo. If you're serious about your business, you want to get a professional email. You want to get a professional business line. You want to consider, if you're going to build business credit, you want to either have a business address or you want to have a business office. I recommend a business address because it's less expensive. It's lots of other things. You got to have a business bank account, not just opening up an account besides your personal account. It has to be a business bank account because now you're venturing into something different. Okay, you're going into something different. You need to surround yourself with a tax professional, someone who understands business taxes, specifically your business, so you can know what your deductions are, what you can write off, what you can't write off, so you can know where you stand, so you can have an idea what your tax liability is going to be. See, most people are going to stay at working a job and then doing something on the side because that's a lot of work, Eric. I don't have time for that. Some people are going to continue to get their money under the table and not report their income to the government, not understanding that you're losing valuable tax deductions by not reporting income. Some people are going to just say, hey, this is just a side hustle. This is just a thing. I'm going to focus on my job because that's my bread and butter. But understand something, and I want you to take a look at what's going on right now. They're tightening up the screws on a lot of things. There were over 800,000 businesses that started in 2020. Over 800,000 that started in 2020. People are not going to stop starting businesses. But I want you to understand, if you want to build a strong business that's going to last, then you want to be structured correctly. You want to have some things in order. It's about 9 things that you want to actually do to have a strong business structure and profile. And then from there, you got to start building business credit. Because if you're using your personal money, or if you're going to the bank to get a loan in your personal name using your social security number, then you're jeopardizing your personal credit. Let's learn how to do what big business is doing, what the 1% is doing. Let's understand that. And with that being said, now you can actually now begin to grow your business and invest in your business. People want to know how we doing what we're doing and how do we get started. There's a lot of different moving pieces. But the first thing is you got to take care of your personal finances. You have to. Because if you can't take care of your personal finances, you won't be able to take care of your business finances. You have to create a strong business structure and then build business credit. From there, you're not going to have to worry about if I have enough money to order t-shirts, if I have enough money to order ink or paper or tumblers or any other sublimation blanks. You don't have to worry about that, because now your business is taking that responsibility and that liability, and your business has a financial backing. That's it. If you want to know more, about what we're doing and how we're doing it, I want you to follow us here, okay? I want you to search this, because I'm going to be bringing things in this group as well and on this page, but I don't want things to conflict too much. Okay, I don't want things to conflict too much. I'm going to type this. This is our business page, National Business Builders. Okay, and we're talking about how to actually build businesses the correct way, and set up yourself so you can actually build business credit, so you don't have to use your personal money. But also giving you tips. The last thing I'm gonna leave with you is this: you need a mentor. Okay, it can be a virtual mentor, but you need a mentor. A mentor is somebody who has done what you want to do or is doing what you want to do. Okay. You also need a coach, somebody who's going to push you. Now, those are investments. That mentor and that coach, it may cost an investment into your business, but guess what? It's a write-off. Be mindful. Don't jump from group to group to group to group. Find someone that is doing what you want to do. Verify the information that they're sharing, and then stick with that group, because there's a lot of people out there doing things. And you don't want to confuse yourself by being a part of all these different groups, getting all this different information. Some of it is not going to be right. A lot of it is not right. I'm looking at it. The very last thing is take your business seriously, because people really don't understand that your best investment that you could ever make is in yourself. Start a business, whether it's working from home, keeping a low overhead, or whether you decide to come out with a actual brick and mortar. Brick and mortars are not necessary. You can do everything that I'm doing from your house. You can do everything. You can ship everything out. But the best investment that you can ever make is in yourself, unless you're a bad person. Hey, my name is Eric. I'm coming to you from the blank spot. Hope you got some value out of what I shared. I hope it made sense. Look at this again. If you got any questions, feel free to reach out to me or my wife about how you can get started the correct way. If you're interested in business structures, if you're interested in business credit, business building, anything, if you're interested in learning how to get your business going, hit us up. We got a lot of information that we're going to be sharing with you. But like I always say, when you know better, that's when you have the ability to do better. And the only knowledge that's powerful is properly applied knowledge. Like it, share it, tag someone. Make sure you follow us on our social media handles. We got TikTok going on. We got YouTube, this Facebook page. We have Instagram. And I got some other things I'm going to be coming out with here pretty soon. But just make sure you follow us, subscribe, like us, share it, and tag us. And definitely, if you're in the Columbia, South Carolina area, make sure you hit us up. Stop by and also check out our website, because we will ship directly to your front door. You guys take care. You have a better than amazing day.